Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. Well, it's been 2 weeks since I recorded a mail day. All the little slowdowns and stuff that happened with our vacation, as far as orders and things coming in, meant that I didn't have a lot of stuff that came in last week, so I just kind of held on to it. So this is what I got going on this week. Pretty good stack, quite a bit of cards for decks. We have like 3 or 4 decks that are just like waiting on 2 or 3 cards and stuff like that, and they keep getting canceled or missing and taking forever to ship. So it's been kind of a hassle. I really just need to run up to one of the game stores and pick up a couple cards, but I'll probably do that soon. I don't know, we'll see. But to start things off though, so this order right here, this is actually two orders, or 2 packs of the same order, so we'll go ahead and open both of these up. This was a bigger order of just smaller cards for decks. So we got Spore Frog, we have Rootborn Defenses. This right here, this Kimba, this is just a cat card. I thought it was pretty cool that, you know, my wife likes her cat cards, so figured to pick that one up for her cat collection. The Angelic Cub, it's the same thing. It's a Cub Angel. She's going to love that one. I don't think she's ever seen that one before. So that one's from the new Jumpstart set. Kind of surprised we don't already have it. Johora, Ageless Innovator. This is actually for my Iron Man deck that I've been slowly picking up cards for. I ordered this one. This one vanished as well. Tyrion Mauler. This one I was actually waiting for. So this is a Shapeshifter for my Eggs deck. This was selling for a few bucks, but I knew it was also coming out in the new Tarkir Commander decks, so I figured I would wait. And sure enough, it dropped down for this one. I think they're like 25, 30 cents or something like that. But finding somebody that was selling this thing and had enough cards that I could get it for a decent price for shipping was a whole nother story. So it took a little while to get this one, but I did get it in. Got an Overgrown Farmland, that's for a deck as well. Cross Defense Contractor, just another cat for my wife. And then we have Dusk and then Dawn. This right here is going to be in our new Hawk deck. And then we have Reliquary Tower, that's a Hawk deck as well. And then Rootbound Crag, I think that's how you say it. That is for my Eggs deck, I believe. So I'll put those all off to the side here and get to the next one. This one right here. Funny enough, I was staring at this earlier. So I got a Mockingbird. I did not get a foil Mockingbird. These are just a little bit more expensive, and I figured I'd cheap out. I didn't really need every card from the Bloomburrow showcases to be foils. So that'll be going into binder. But this thing right here, I don't know if it's just me or it's just like yellow, or I don't know, the color looks off on it on that side. It looks good on this side, I think. Maybe a little bit washed out. But this side looked weird to me. I'll have to dig one up. I've got a few of these. I love these Pathway lands. If you don't run them, these are pretty cool. You do have to flip them over. But if you're looking for a cheaper way to have some versatility as far as making sure you get the correct colors, they're not a bad pickup. They aren't dual lands, so you can't run for 2 colors later on. But early on, when you need a color, you get to at least pick that one. So this is Ketra. Let's see if I can say it. Karametra, God of Harvest. This is actually the commander for my Hawk deck. If you've never seen this before, he's indestructible as long as your devotion to green and white is less than 7. Ketramona. Karametra isn't a creature, and whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card and put it into the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle your library. So this is just a big ramp spell for a commander. So when this thing is out, it's going to get crazy. And because it's my commander, I went ahead and picked up the foil etch version. If you aren't a big fan of foils, which I know someone who is watching this isn't, these foil etch cards, technically they're not actually foils. It's just like a version of the ink that they use. So you may want to check these out too. You might like those. It goes into deck stack, Soul Ring. It's a Bloomburrow Soul Ring. Deck stack, obviously Beast Whisperer. Same thing. Expedition Map. This is actually the last card I needed for an old deck that I've been building for a long time, and I just kept missing it. And then one more for the binder. I got a Leonardo da Vinci borderless card. I don't know why that's in there. That goes over here. Okay. This next one here. So, I didn't pull a Mox Jasper. I was hoping to be able to run a Mox Jasper in my Dragon deck, and then maybe also in my Eggs deck or something similar. I like the idea of using this when you're using it with shapeshifters, because every shapeshifter is also a dragon. So I did order one of these things. It's a lot cheaper than to order one of these things straight up than it is to try to pull one from a pack. And since I didn't have any good luck in both my wife's 2 boxes and my boxes, I ordered this thing. I think it was like $20. I really do want the Dragon Showcase version of it, and I might still end up picking that up eventually because, like I said, I wouldn't mind having 2. But pick this one up for a pretty good deal. And let's see what we got here. Last week I had an order that had a decanter of Endless Water, and they had messed up my order. This company went ahead and sent out the 2 that they did mess up, which is super nice of them. And one of these is foil. I don't really care so much about the foil, just care about getting these, and they're kind of hard to come across for a decent price. This one is a little bit pringled. I don't really have Pringle problems a lot of times, but sometimes they're pringled like that. Every once in a while. They are hit and miss. So let me look up that company, though. I do think they should get the full recognition. All right, so that was a company named Brick House Games out of Texas. So if you're ever ordering anything on TCG Player, or if you're local to Texas, obviously Texas is a big state. I don't know where that is in Texas, but if you come across that game store, that person, they stand behind their stuff. They sent those out on their own dime and let me keep the one that was wrong as well. So it was really nice of them. McKinney Stampede. This is another dual-sided card. I get this as a foil. Doesn't really matter if it's a 4 or not on this case. This is a flip card, so this is going to land to one side. Does enter tapped, but this right here just pumps all your creatures 2/2. It's expensive, but I love these modal flip cards. I use these in all my decks. Essentially, when I run a bunch of these things, if I run 10 of these, it's like I have 10 extra spells that in my deck. I'm able to fit more stuff or make sure I have enough land. And it gives me the versatility. So if I'm late in the game and I don't need lands, I can just play the spell. But if it's early and I really need a land, I can play the land. I got another 7 drawers, this time foil. Getting close to finishing those things up. This is the SE Tyrant of Gyre Strait. This right here is a big landfall card, and I've been wanting to add this card to my landfall deck. But the landfall deck I have, it's basically the cheapest possible version. And this thing, the AC was actually in one of the commander decks that I've been watching the prices with the intention of picking one up at some point, but they still were like $8-9. These things, because nobody likes them, these things ended up coming down to like $5-6. I think for the non-foil, I think it might even be a little cheaper. But the funny thing is actually, like, if you take away all the extra bullcrap about this, I like the art itself. I think it's kind of cool. The stoner dude in the outfit, but the outfit and everything is kind of cool. But the artwork, or the what is this? The school yearbook picture. It just it's an ugly design. And then on the back you have the like 80s, 90s design with all the information, which is kind of a bummer. That stuff's not on the front. Thankfully, this is a pretty easy card to remember, though. Whenever land you control enters, you may draw a card. Pretty simple. You may play an additional land on any of your turns. So, not too bad to remember, and I'm probably still going to end up using this in that deck. Maybe eventually I'll pick up a regular version of the card, though. But we'll see. Like I said, I have decks that I throw a bunch of money into. I don't really mind putting money into them. But then I build some decks where my goal is to build a cheap deck out of it. And this was one of those decks, and I thought would be a fun upgrade for, at $6, it's still the most expensive card in the deck. So I got a Hall of Triumph. This is for, I believe this is going to be in my Hawk deck. and then an Axis Tunnel. That right there is also going to be in the Hawk deck. So I talked about this commander for the Hawk deck. I'll leave this thing out here. I want you guys to, I want to get some opinions on this deck that I'm building. So let me go ahead and just dig up. I did get some Hawks in. So we got a stack of Hawks here. I'm waiting on some. I think I've got an order of 16 that's still coming. But I decided these are going to go in the binder, but they're not going to stay in the binder for very long. Because, I don't know, something about this, I'm pretty excited about the Tempest Hawks. I mean, I've been excited about any of these kind of cards, but these piqued my interest. Before anybody had built any decks or anything, I brewed my deck out, so I wasn't, you know, taking anyone's ideas or using anything off of EDHREC. I kind of just built a deck that I thought might be fun. Without a doubt, I have a bird deck already, and my regular bird deck, the commander from it, has Castrol the Windcrested, and my initial thought was that, I mean, that's got to be the best bird commander for this deck, right? For a Tempest Hawk deck. But I had already built that deck. That was a deck that I put a bunch of money into. I spent a lot of time theming every little bit and piece into bird stuff. You know, everything was themed out to the bird theme. And frankly, I just wasn't really feeling the idea, since I've hardly played it, of tearing it apart to basically just fill it with all these Tempest Hawks. As cool as that is, but as silly as it seems to have two bird decks, given I'm not really a bird person or anything like that. But anyhow, so I came up with this idea, though, instead of going with the same commander, because I thought that would be kind of weird. So this guy, like I said, every time when he's out and whenever you cast a creature spell, you may search your library for a forest or plains card, put it in the battlefield. So this is ramping every time a creature spell comes out. These things are pretty cheap at 3 mana. And then whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for another card named Tempest Hawk, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. You can have as many of these in your deck as you'd like. So the idea behind this is basically, every time I get one of these things out, I get another land, I ramp using that, and then I'm able to get a few attacks in. They're not big hits, but every time I get an attack, I get to grab another Tempest Hawk, and that way I keep my hand full with all my Tempest Hawks. And then from there, my card draw will be hopefully helping me draw more of my protection spells and stuff like that I need. So that's the idea, at least. We'll see how that goes. Anyhow, now that I've ranted a little bit there, hey look, some more Tempest Hawks. These 3 didn't actually get it. These weren't from an order. These were the 3 that my wife gave me. So she got 3, and she said she may regret it later, but she handed me these 3, and it was the last 3 that I needed, assuming that order of 16 comes in. So, I got a Bloodghast, gold borderless. This is the one card that I thought was going to take me a while to get because of the price, and I picked it up for a pretty good price. I think I'm down to 1 card on that. We'll find out when we dig into everything else. But almost done completing that collection, other than maybe a couple surprises. I got something that I'm working on, but we'll see. Alright, so Farseek, that'll be going into the Hawk deck for sure. Soul of the Harvest. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. I think this is actually, I'm not sure what deck this is for. I think this might be for my, let's look what deck this is for. So this actually is in the what I call the God of Hawks, the Hawk deck. Funny enough, I've got this thing in 2 other decks that I've been toying around with as well. So I'm sure you'll see it again in the future. But yeah, this is just another card draw idea with the creatures. Just a little bit of a backup for my commander as well. And then I got a Mary Reed and Annie Bonny foil, and that guy's a little Pringled as well. But in the binder, the Pringles don't bother me. In my deck, I want them to be perfect. But I think between this and the Leonardo, I think we might be done with all those. This might be the last one. I'm not going to put this on top of that. This is sticky right here. So, and then this last pack here. Let's see what we got. Thought Vessel. Obviously, it's going to go into a deck. another Farseek. I need these in pretty much in a whole bunch of decks, and I may have ordered an extra one because I know I already got in 2 other Farseeks of the other art, and then I got in 2 of these, and I think I just double ordered. And then we got a Soul Ring. Looks like another Bloomburrow Soul Ring. Yep, Bloomburrow Soul Ring. And I got Exhume. Big fan of this. This is by Tim Jacobs. That's the guy who did Goosebumps. If you haven't seen him, and this is from the Duskmourn Nightmare bundle. This is the bonus cards for that. Love these things. So we're down to, well, I think I'm about halfway into picking these things up. I still have a few more. I have some on order as well. In fact, I've got a whole bunch of stuff on order, so I'll have a big wave of stuff coming in, I think, this next week. Anyhow, I'm going to get these scanned in, wrapped as, sleeved up and everything, and we'll get the binder out and get ready to put everything up. I'll see you then. Okay, so I got everything scanned in, and we're just going to jump into this real quick and see where everything's got to go, see how we did this week. Well, these 2 weeks, really. I didn't get any Mystical Archives. I do have at least one on order. And we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go. That's not too bad. All right, so this is where things are going to get tricky, because I know we have 2 of these cards, right? So we got Mary Lou, and then we have Leo. And I only got 4 spots there, so let's go ahead and pull these out. And we'll find a more permanent home for these. Plus this guy needs a better sleeve. Blood Gas is going to go down here in this corner, if you guys can see. 1 more to go, and it is on order. So we're almost there. This is the miscellaneous area. Miscellaneous area. This seems like a good spot to put these guys for now. Let me get these 2 in different sleeves. Alright, so we got the whole set here. It's not very many of them, but let's put them in order. So 117, 120, 119, 120, 118, 117, and 121. So these will probably move. I'm not sure if I'm sold on this spot because it feels like it's taking up a lot of room. Being in the middle of things. We'll find a better spot for them eventually. Maybe they'll go in the same spot with the Duskmourn stuff or something. Anyhow, those are all situated. Birds of Paradise. I got some more birds on order. See, this would have probably been a better spot. I think when these are full, there's going to be some room here. So once all this gets situated and organized a little bit more, it'll probably be the 3 things, 1 from each set here. But we do have the Exhume, though. I'm not going to put it in order because I know I'm going to rearrange it. Or maybe I will. It's already in order. That works. Alright. From there, we get into the secret layers. I don't have any secret layers to put in here. I'm going to swap out the binders. I'll be right back. Alright. We got the special guest binder out. Get past all the special guests. Man, I love that Arid Mesa. Dragon foil is cool as heck. Now that you guys have seen me open it, it is in the binder for now. I have been looking for trades. So if you are watching this and you're interested in a trade, I do have a list of stuff that I'm looking for. You can make me make a deal as much as I hate to get rid of it, but it's just worth more than what I can afford to do to buy the other 4. So All right. We got the Bloomburrow. This is number 305, 303, 304. And the 304 will be here as well because this is a signed card. And then we got Hawks. Lots and lots of Hawks. You can see I already have a pretty good start on them. I'm not going to fuss with trying to get them in order because these right here are foil, the rest aren't. I know that's a foil as well. Like I said, these are going to be coming back out of this binder pretty quickly. I've already started ordering cards for that deck. In fact, I'm pretty close to finishing that deck. I think I've got 2 main cards to get. I got to get a Delaney and I got to get a Chroma's Will. And Chroma's Will is like 10, 11 bucks. And Delaney's like 30 bucks. So at some point, once I get those, we'll be all situated on those. I can't believe I filled this all the way up though. That is crazy. We'll go ahead and just drop these. Oh, I think there's a page behind it, right? How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's room. Oops, we got a couple stuck together. Because this is the last one of this stuff. We'll see if we can't fit it here. If I can't, I can't count. So yeah, we're gonna be one off. That's fine. We'll go to the next page after that too. So we'll fill this up. This will fill in all that gap. All full there. That is a lot of Hawks. Then we'll drop one down here, just as an extra. I don't know. I have to recount them here. I guess I got there's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Maybe I did get that order of 16 that I said I was waiting on. 30? Yeah, I've got all the ones I ordered. I wonder, I don't know. That order came in there. There must have been that stack of 16. That stack that was in there, but I just thought I was still short. I guess I'm not. Really close to finishing the deck. Last up though, we have a 7 Dwarves. That's going to go at the end here. And funny enough, I'm really close to getting enough Persistent Petitioners as well. In fact, I ordered the last few just to get that off my saved later list. And I think I've got more 7 Drawers coming. I think I might even have 1 extra. I don't think I realized I ordered this foil. For as organized as I am with my orders, I still managed to really mess up my orders. I don't get it. I am talking to somebody about a trade about getting a whole bunch of Dragon's Approaches. That'd be pretty cool. Heir Apparents are still going to be a while though. These things have just not dropped down in price. They're popular in Standard in addition to in Commander, which is the problem. So like all these other cards, they've dropped down in price because they're only really applicable in very specific Commander decks, not in most decks. So like these things, they sell for like $1 to $1.50, like a normal price, but you can usually find them if you can order some other stuff from the person for like 50 cents. Templar Knights, those things drop down to like $1 lately. The only ones that aren't, the Shadowborn Apostles, these things are still holding a little value. These are like $1.50 to $3, depending on where you get them. But I think it's more because they're older and they're really good. Oops, sorry. And then the slimes drop down in price. The rat colonies, when they get reprinted at this white border, they drop down in price. 7 Dwarves, same thing. These are like 50 cents when you find them from somebody that's trying to get rid of them, you know. Obviously, some people are selling, actually these things are less than 50 cents. They're like 20 cents. But Heir Apparent, unfortunately, these boys are just up there in price right now. They're still, I think, $3 to $4 sometimes. And that's not, the end of the world building a deck. I mean, if you think about it, it's not too crazy. I mean, the Hawk deck, I'm looking at spending $30 on 1 card, right? But I can justify that 30 because I just bought 30 of these things for $1 or less, So anyhow, that's it for mail day. I don't know what we have going on for next videos. The next video might actually be another mail day. The big news though is, and you guys probably have seen this by the time you watch this video because I'm so far behind on publishing videos. But I did finally start a Facebook page to upload reels on, and I also started a TikTok. So I'm trying to force myself to upload some short format stuff. You'll see the same stuff on YouTube. It'll be all the same videos across all formats. But if any of those you prefer, or if you'd like to give us a follow, it's reminder on all of those, and we'll see you there. We'll see how those go. What I've noticed so far is I think I spend more time editing one of those short videos than I do some of our longer videos. So we'll see, because it's going to take a lot of time. Anyhow, have a great day. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.